A couple days ago, there was a censorship case that went through the Supreme Court, and if you haven't already read through it, you need to. Feel free to pause and read as we continue. Misinformation policies at big social media companies were used during the 2020 election, as well as during the C word after that. In this case, there were 2 states and 5 individual social media users that brought forward the lawsuit about the government's involvement in the misinformation policies. Their involvement also occurred during the 2022 midterm elections. There are a few different things that they're going over, but one of them is that multiple platforms suppressed a Hunter Biden laptop story right before the 2020 election, and they labeled it as a Russian hack and leak operation. The problem with that is the Hunter Biden laptop story was indeed correct, so whoever labeled it as a Russian hack and leak operation needs to be held accountable because who gave them the information? In late 2019, Facebook unveiled measures to counter foreign intelligence campaigns and voter suppression efforts. There are certain words that I can't use because those words are still censored under the misinformation campaigns on TikTok as well. But if you read that right there, it says that the Fifth Circuit determined that White House officials, in conjunction with the Surgeon General's office, likely both coerced and significantly encouraged the platforms to moderate content. Who would have thought? The same is true for the FBI. However, the court concluded that the CDC and CISA significantly encouraged but did not coerce the platform's moderation decisions. So, after reading all that, you're going to find that the opinion of the court is that the plaintiffs, without any concrete link between their injuries and the defendant's conduct, asked us to conduct a review of the years-long communication between dozens of federal officials across different agencies with different social media platforms about different topics. The court's standing doctrine prevents them from exercising such general legal oversight of the other branches of government. In the end, they decided to reverse the judgment of the Fifth Circuit and remand the case for further proceedings consistent with this opinion. 6 out of 9 of our Supreme Court justices agreed with that decision, but 3 did not, and they wrote their dissent here. The 3 justices that disagreed are Justice Alito, Thomas, and Gorsuch. I'll let my opinion be known. I'm with the guys that are dissenting this. I think these 3 justices brought up a great point, bringing up the Communications Decency Act of 1996 and how news agencies are protected by freedom of speech. However, social media platforms are not, and they have to obey this Communications Decency Act. This specific vulnerability has been called an existential threat by Mark Zuckerberg for his company. There were some very interesting emails being sent by Andy Slavitt, which is why I really want you guys to read through this. Robert Flaherty is another name that pops up with the people who are sending emails to the social media companies. Andy Slavitt was seen saying things like, oh, the last time we did this dance, it ended in an insurrection. So let's go ahead and put a face to his name. Andy Slavitt is Jewish, and he's also the former CEO of Optum Insight, and he was the executive vice president of Optum. The company used to go by the name Nginx, and they also had a controversy involving defrauding customers by manipulating reimbursement rates. He also launched a stay home campaign, and he also led the team that was sent in to help the Obamacare website crash. This is Robert Flaherty, and although I don't have a lot of information, I did want to put his face to his name, because he's also one of the White House officials that was sending emails to social media companies. I find the court's decision really difficult to digest. Now that we know all of this happened, and the Supreme Court knows that it happened, we're not going to do anything about it. Instead, we're going to reverse the Fifth Circuit's decision. I think the court's decision on this is absolute bullshit. I also think it's setting a tone saying that if your crime is sophisticated enough, that they'll just let it slide. What do you guys think?